What is up, mofos? JJ back here from Run Pure Bets with another free pick for you. This time it's for Thursday Night Football in the NFL on November the 5th. Game is going to be played between the San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. Current spread is Packers -7, total 48.5. Been a nice little few weeks here for your boy. I've now hit 22 of my last 25 bets, including last week's Thursday Night Football pick with the Falcons and the New England team total over 17.5 as a best bet from the Sunday AM vid. And again, these are all vids against the spread. None of this like minus 200 nonsense. And this also isn't some like Vegas Dave Whale stuff either. It's just been a nice heater. One thing I'll say about heaters and coolers is that sometimes these pull people off the tracks emotionally when gambling. When some people, win this many in a row, that they end up starting to throw extra minus EV darts. Same goes for coolers, right? If you lose a bunch in a row, and look, no harm in that. We all do. But many tend to chase. Needless to say, always stick to just getting good numbers and stay disciplined. All right, so we had a few winners from last week's YouTube video. Folks going 4-0. A few repeat winners too. Best Pie Eater Jimmy Stain, 4-0 again, second time this season. And Big Colts fan 497 getting on the board as well with a 4-0 week. It's impressive how common these 4-0 weeks have been for multiple people. Just real nice work all around, folks. Shoot us a DM at Run Pure Bets on Twitter. We'll be sure to hook you up with some gear. As always, we'll run it back. Come back again with your best 4 bets in the NFL against the spread. Post them in the comments here to win yourself some swag. If you've already won this shirt, don't worry. We got hats, we got the Keg shirts, we got Run Pure Sports shirts. We are not one-trick ponies here, but I mean, like, imagine disrespecting one-trick ponies. All right, so last week I touched on an old office story, so let's keep that theme going with another little short story here. Years ago, in that same office space, we had a bit of an insect problem all over the office. I explained the dilemma to the president of the company, how these insects are kind of hopping all over the office in bunches. He tells me, stop being so dramatic. But I'm like, legit, these things are everywhere, and I just don't feel safe. He says one of his buddies is an exterminator, and he'll get him to take care of it. So a few days later, this dude comes in, and my boss goes, oh, there's the guy, pointing to me, who's been shitting his pants over these things, so he'll be able to answer all your questions. This dude introduces himself like he was like some king in another lifetime. Like, dude, chill, you're an exterminator, not the Prince of England. So he asked me if I can describe these insects for him so like he knows what he's dealing with. I'm like, all right. So it's kind of weird. Like, they're like big spiders, but they kind of hop around like crickets. Swear to God, this dude hears this and goes, all right, looks like a spider, moves like a cricket. That sounds to me like a spider cricket. Now, I look at my boss and I'm like, are we serious with this clown right now? Spider cricket, after just how I described it? This guy goes, no, I'm serious, 100%. These got to be spider crickets. They're sometimes found in bunches in offices just like this. So turns out I Google spider crickets, and holy shit, this was them. Needless to say, he took care of them, and we never had one back in the office, at least that I could remember. Egg on my face, though, right? All right, so on to the game here. Lots of stuff to unravel. Green Bay comes off a real hiccup against Minnesota, but the biggest news here of all is going to be on the San Francisco side. There's injuries all over, but I'm surprised this game's actually playing, especially with this late COVID news. With both teams. Look ahead line on this game actually had the 49ers slightly favored at -1. Current line, though, is -7 in favor of Green Bay. So what happened, right? So Jimmy G gets hurt last week. Personally, I don't consider much of a drop-off at all from him to Mullins. Jimmy G's just really regressed over the last year or so. I mean, I know they made the Super Bowl, but he's always been a game manager, but this year he's looked terrible. And also, but George Kittle fractures his foot, so he's out. That's a big difference. That sets this opener at 2.5. Then the market takes it to 3.5, but that's before more injury and COVID news services. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams get added to the COVID list. Before this, Samuel was already ruled out with a hamstring injury. Tevin Coleman's out. Demetrius Flanagan Fowles also out. A few other players questionable too. This prompted San Francisco to promote quite a few players to the main roster. But regardless, lots of continuity missing from this team, specifically on the offensive end. We already know about the issues this team has defensively, specifically on that line. Now, Green Bay also has their own slew of injuries, a robust 20 people on the injury report, with 3 already ruled out. They're going to be missing Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon, who were filling in for Aaron Jones, who's questionable here. Even if Jones plays, I don't know how he could be 100% because he really wasn't expected to be good for this one. In steps Tyler Ervin, Dexter Williams, if Jones is unable to go. I can go on and on here about all the injuries. So regardless, though, take this game lightly in terms of betting it. Just a lot of added variance coming in. Now, both teams have had, lack of true practice time. They're missing starters all over, but primarily on offense for both squads. For me, the only play I can really get behind here is the under at 48.5. Now, I know the number isn't great as per the opener, but it's been moved after a bunch of these offensive guys got ruled out, and I don't think it's moved enough. And again, these teams haven't been practicing. Now, you can make the argument, well, maybe that favors the defense, but I'm going to say it favors. I mean, you could argue it favors the offense. I'm going to say it favors the defense. Now, I'm only dabbling half unit here because there is just so much variance. And I know a popular player is probably going to be the Packers. The only thing is like how often are you going to enjoy betting laying a full touchdown on a road Thursday night game with a team that, first of all, the Packers aren't going to have any running backs. Like, I mean, if Aaron Jones doesn't play, this team's on their 4th and 5th string running backs. So it's going to be all on Aaron Rodgers, who's also missing, Allen Lazard. Now, Allen Lazard may come back, and that'll be maybe somewhat lifting because Valdez-Scantling hasn't been a very good number 2 wideout. It just seems like with all the injuries as a whole, laying 7 is a big number, and taking the 7 with San Fran doesn't seem all that appetizing either. So that's why I like the under, but again, only for a half unit. I can't give out a prop here because I still don't see props out in the market. It just goes to show you how injuries are such a big player in these games. Usually the props for Thursday night are out on Tuesday out here in Jersey. So anyway, I'm just going to stick to the play under 48.5 for half unit. Now let's chat on prize picks. Now, as mentioned, it's going to be difficult with all the injuries in the NFL game, but who needs that when you have college football, 2 games in the Mountain West. I'm going to do my typical 2-player flex, 2-player power play. Again, over at prizepicks.com. First play, Devin Tompkins, wide receiver for Utah State, over 14 fantasy points. I get it, right? Look at his surface numbers, 2 poultry games thus far. These 2, though, were against 2 of the better defenses in the Mountain West, Boise and San Diego State. Now Utah State draws Nevada, who's certainly susceptible on the defensive side of the ball. Tompkins is the Aggies' best wideout, and they just pepper him with targets. With a game script and everything considered, he should be able to find plenty of holes in this defense and hop over this number. Now, the other play I like here is Levi Williams, quarterback for Wyoming, under 20 fantasy points. This one can be a bit scary with Williams rushing upside, but Wyoming loves their running back Valladay, giving him a ton of touches, and Williams is just wildly inaccurate as a thrower. Williams has had a real rocky start to the season against 2 spotty defenses. CSU isn't very good defensively either, but this is a big number for Williams, who's looked just off to start the year, and it'll be a road game. I know that, not a true road game in this new era, but it is a road game. Rushing touchdowns from him here would sting, but I'll take my chances. He goes under this inflated number. So to recap, in NFL, I like under 48.5 points in the game. Only for a half unit, though. Take it light. I mean, I know I always want to do a video for you guys weekly. This is not a play I by any means love, but ultimately it's my favorite play from the game. I'm going to take it light, as mentioned, with all the injury news. Now, on prize picks, I do like Tompkins over 14 fantasy points and Williams under 20. Remember to sign up over prizepicks.com. Promo code PURE, P-U-R-E, for $100 deposit match bonus up to $100. Our Discord's been making bank on all these prize pick plays, and I'm posted up almost daily with action. Be sure to check out their site as there are constant edges to be had, but as always, gamble responsibly, in that regard. I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Create some fake accounts more. Thumbs up. If you did not enjoy, I hope you wake up with a pair of balls in your mouth. As always, drop comments below with your thoughts on the video, and be sure to drop your 4 best plays in the NFL against the spread. We'll be back with a live betting show Thursday night. I'll have a DFS betting rundown video on Friday with Big T and JSU on the DFS end. And then Sunday AM, I'll be back for a Week 9 preview in the NFL with Holden. I wish you all the best of luck with all your bets. Gamble responsibly and stay safe, folks.